Right. There's 4 lines, something like that. 1, 2.
But the most telltale sign is that right there. That's your one-way mark. They were created as one-way back cards. Surprise!
Surprise! Alright, just had my mind blown. Okay, anyways, welcome to the show, guys. I'm your boy, John. This is Chris. This is Kyle, aka Diesel Illusions on Instagram. Today we're just gonna do a quick review on the new Jerry's Nuggets. This is the modern cut one, right? Or is it the
modern feel?
The modern feel version of it. So let's get right into it.
Graphic designer, musician, creative, card enthusiast, chef, producer, magician, card enthusiast.
These were a Kickstarter campaign earlier this year, right? I think.
July and August.
July and August. Yeah, and this was put on by EPC. Wow.
Expert playing card company, but printed at USPCC.
Yeah, sweet. So it's all
I
like.
should say there was a gaff card that came with this that I ripped up.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. When I watched your Instagram, you ripped up a gaff, and I was wondering about that.
I'll have to get it out.
On initial inspection here, the tuck is fairly standard. There's no embossing or nothing.
It actually, again, it's very like, I guess, like the original, where it's kind of dedicated to like the original casino style.
Right.
Right, where it's like just, yeah, like what you would imagine like a casino deck would look like, or even like the remember those airplane decks?
It's a useless gaff. I tear up useless gaffs. Blank on one side, and not even the actual card back on the other.
Okay.
Now you tell me that that's a completely useless gaff.
Wait, and then like the backs of these are blue?
Yeah. So it's not even a proper blank-faced card.
I'm just trying to think, like, you can,
So you could
could,
vanish
like-
the back coloring,
yeah.
but
Is this the third Joker too?
yeah, there's a third
Yep.
Joker.
Oh!
So these are duplicates
Sweet.
right off the
Yeah.
bat.
You have duplicate jokers, then you have a useless joker for color change.
For a color change. This,
You have the dumbest
Fuck,
gaff
man.
card I think
See,
I've
like, my
ever
thing
seen
is,
in
like,
my
you would
life.
force a card on a person, then you would do a color change with the back.
Yep.
Like, you would do, like, an Erdnase. Or not an Erdnase, you would do, like, a Bertram change, like, and then you, like,
Yep.
do the thing. And then you would, for some reason, it would change the color, and then you'd be like, well, I don't know how to describe it. You'd have to then disappear the numbers off the
Yeah.
thing. So that's like a whole...
It's
It's
whole
a routine that
stupid-
I actually don't...
nobody would do.
I don't even know if I can do that in public.
No,
Good one for Instagram, but like...
not even Instagram.
Well, I mean, it's good visually, I would assume, but like, if you did it correctly, I don't actually have any tricks that can do that. Like, I don't have anything that can do that with.
Hey, you could
That's
create,
useless.
You could create one, but to me that's completely
Man.
useless.
Okay, so I mean, at least it came with a type of gaff that I appreciate that they tried with something that's like completely,
But they did also put out an entire gaff deck.
yeah.
So
I mean,
Yeah.
like this, like having the 2 duplicates plus
yeah.
Plus the third, at least I like that though, because at least you can have your thing and you can change its color. That's wicked. At least there's 3 Jokers. 3 Jokers is still pretty good. I like at least that they still had duplicates. Do they have any other further duplicates?
Nope.
That you would know of? Okay.
That's it.
Okay, so then, like as usual, we'll go through it. Ace
Yeah.
of Spades usually is where like all the flavor
all
is.
the flair is, right? So here you have the spade, right? It's got some fairly simplistic minimal design,
Yep.
which I can surely appreciate.
Mhm.
Litho in the USA, does litho have any...
Litho means print.
Okay,
Yeah.
lithography?
Lithograph. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, are these litho printed?
No.
Okay.
But it's like that.
But
Probably like an
this
ode
is from the
to.
original. That's
Right. Besides that, you know, it's fairly standard.
Mhm.
I do really appreciate the minimal design. The stroke weight is kept fairly consistent throughout, except for like these little corners, which I think is pretty nice. It's got a nice little flourish up top.
It's pretty classic, right? Like it's
very
yeah.
classic.
and as far as I can tell, it's standard throughout. It's like nothing's changed from
It's
it.
all industry standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like that's exactly what I would expect. So it doesn't draw the eye too far away from the for the spectator because it's
Yeah.
exactly like grandma's playing card deck. Is there any
I
reveals?
do believe they're Arco courts though.
Are they like a little bit shorter but fatter?
They're slightly. I was told they were slightly altered, but to me they don't
They,
look so
it
much.
seems like they or they're not
They're
really.
just a little bit lighter on the on the guidelines.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the
But
Arco
they're industry standard.
the Arco is like a bigger border. If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
the Arco have much wider faces
Yeah.
on the courts.
Mm-hmm.
There's your Arco court.
Yeah, exactly. See what I'm saying? 'Cause I reviewed the Arco white deck, one of my very first videos, and this is something that caught my eye, which I actually quite enjoy because it almost like has it like fill up that square more. And if you compare that to the other queen, right? This just looks strikingly thinner in the frame, and this one looks like it's more filled. It's like when you pull like this is like a 75 millimeter lens versus a 35, right? It just doesn't have, it just has more presence here.
I definitely think it makes it a little bit more dynamic, and then it looks a little, it gives it a little bit more, it takes up a smaller space, but it just like gives it like just that extra like little
Punch, man.
punch. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I dig it.
Okay, so then other than that, and there's no like royal reveals or anything.
No, there's nothing.
And the faces they didn't even change out for their like.
Nope.
Come
All
on.
standard.
I can't believe they didn't do that.
But they wanted to keep it just like the original.
Yeah.
But
And
they
then
handle well.
did you find like when you opened it up, how was it like on usual? Did you have any clicks? Did you have any bows?
I've hardly touched the deck.
Oh really?
I actually just opened it in the last day or two.
Wow. And it just it feels right.
Yep.
Right.
Feels like they're cut well.
It almost actually, I hate to say it, it feels like when you were saying like your deck got cut around the same time these
I
got
think
cut.
so.
And this is yeah. Ooh. Wow. Sorry. It actually it almost feels like it handles like your like the Hinodes, like at Pharaoh's the same way I would expect it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
feel
handle
like when you
nice.
ruffle through that, it feels comfortable.
You know, and I just want to talk about this back real quick because I actually do really like the color combo. I can't tell if that's like, it's an orange,
It's red.
it's red.
Yeah.
It's hard with the contrast to
It
tell to separate the
And
color.
that's why I went with the blue, because the red decks,
Yeah.
it's just
It's,
too much.
yeah,
Red.
it's very very.
Yeah.
Yeah. To have red on red on red just was too much for me. So.
Yeah, no, I dig the color combo. I like the really saturated blue in the back, but like a kind of less so saturated red on the front.
Yeah.
I think the color contrast is really nice.
It adds depth, right? But this is again, it's still like a great reproduction of a very simply classic deck of cards. Because again, I never got to really touch like the other deck that was like a ripoff of this one was the Chicken Nuggets.
Yep.
Right. I heard they basically handled exactly like this.
Oh yeah, it's a good
Right.
deck of cards.
But but to close out the Jerry Nuggets, to be honest with you, you said how much of these? What are these going for Canadian?
Canadian.
Or okay, no. So let's go American. That's usually what I gauge it by.
Yeah, mostly it's in the States. I've seen them $10 to $12 a deck.
I'm gonna say okay. So for a rating on this deck, say out of 10, right? 10 being the best, 1 being not so much the best. I would say I'm gonna give these like a straight up. Because with all the hype, with literally all the hype that comes up with the Jerry Nuggets decks, oh man, I'm gonna say these deserve like a 6.5. Just because, you know what? I'm not really blown away by it, right? And just it handles good for the price point. It's really good for what it is. But like, I honestly would probably I would buy like just like a deck of, for the price point. I would probably just buy like a pretty good colored deck of Nox or something of that value, or Hinodes. You know what I'm saying? Right? Handles just the same, but I prefer the back design over this. Yeah,
Me,
I don't know what to say.
I like casino decks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd put it probably around 7.5 to 8. And the reason there's no way it's going higher is because that gaff.
It ruined it for you, eh? Like again, I like that they have, but
I
it's
would
just
have
underwhelming for
honestly
me.
rather seen an ad card
Oh, really?
than that gaff.
Yo, and that's from this guy.
I hate
that's-
ad cards.
yeah.
But I hate more if you put in a gaff that's completely useless. To me, you might as well put in a double blank.
I know.
So
Yeah, that's like it almost feels like a cop out. This one.
yeah.
Because like again, I'm not that good at Magic, and I don't have any tricks that can accommodate this gap. I really don't because
It's like I don't know if it's supposed to be an ad card. Or if
well,
it's not.
unless dude, it was one of those situations where it's like you get the guy to pick a card, and then like you do the thing where like you change it out, turns white, then you change it disappears it
Yeah.
completely, and then you put it back on the thing clean. But again, I don't see that being like the case.
It's not a believable gap.
It's no,
So-
not for me at least. So
No.
yeah,
That's fair.
That's where it loses it for me.
From a design standpoint, I would have to give it. I would have to go with a 6.
Mhm.
Just because I do really like the color combo that they went with. I do really like that deep blue. It gives a lot of depth. But that being said, besides that, there's no variation.
mm-hmm.
But it's a reproduction.
Yeah.
Again, it's I think they did the reproduction well.
Yeah.
I also feel that for the price point though, it's a little bit more expensive than what I would have liked to pay for it. Right?
Mhm.
I would. I feel if it was going for $12 American, it should have a little bit extra in it. Because if it was a reproduction, what I would have loved to see is a little bit extras then. Not a full reproduction, like an extra reproduction, like something with like again maybe reveals, maybe reveals on the face cards themselves, all that stuff. So I know that there's a gaff deck that comes with this, all that stuff, or not comes with it, but it's sold separately. It's just for the price point again, I would rather just buy maybe 2 decks of knock decks or 2 decks of good old-fashioned bicycle decks that are a little bit more custom.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I give mine about 6.5. You're gonna say 7.5? 8?
I'll give it a 7.5 just because I like casino decks.
Okay, so that's 7.5. It's 14, and yourself?
6.
6?
So 20.
So 20 out of 30. I mean, it's still a reasonable point value for this deck. Because again,
12 US.
for the price point and for the hype, again, I think they're just playing on the hype.
Oh,
That's my biggest issue because like you've seen Jerry Nuggets go. I've seen framed single Jerry Nuggets unopened go for like $2,000.
Yep.
And that's like scratching the surface. I've seen some ridiculous ones go for like
On
collections going for
on
tens
average,
of
you're
thousands
looking-
of dollars.
You're looking $400 to $700 for the originals sealed.
Sealed, yeah, right, and that's and as far as I'm concerned, that's still on the lowest, right? Like, because I think the lowest I've seen at auction, these go for about $500, right? And that's for having like torn plastic, but that's still on it technically, right? Perfect condition ones I've still seen for over $1,000, and that's cool and all, but I don't see it. Yeah, okay,
But yeah, for $12, I think that's overpriced for it.
I do too. I still feel like this to me still feels like reasonably. It still feels like a $9 or a $10 deck American.
Oh yeah, 10 American.
10 American, I would all
That'd
day.
be fine.
Yeah, but I still I appreciate some of the gaps. Like to have 3 jokers, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And for them to be duplicates, because it kills me when you don't see duplicates. At least duplicates. Like even like these decks, I buy at a dollar store. Their jokers are duplicate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? For $1, man.
It's pretty good.
But look, I'm gonna wrap up this 2-parter. Again, I'm your boy John. This is Chris. This is Kyle, aka Diesel Illusions. If you guys have any questions for us, you guys go ahead and leave a comment in this comment section down below. As well, if you guys want to find out more about Kyle at Diesel Illusions on Instagram, you can find his links in the description box below as well. And you have another deck coming out in the works right now, right?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. You can still find it on Instagram. What's the link?
For that deck, it's vortico.deck.
.deck. Okay, yeah, and check that out because it's definitely a step above this one
Oh yeah.
in terms of design because I've seen you showed me those ones where like you'll actually see like a 3D kind of mock-up of the deck.
There's a render. Of
That's what they're called.
deck, yeah.
Those are all. Who keeps doing those? Whoever keeps doing those is just G. Like that guy. Whoever keeps doing them is
There's a
pimp.
few guys. The guy that did the Vortico deck is Jeff Tolk.
Oh man.
Jeff.
Because if we make a deck, I got to get that guy to do that. Because whoever's doing it, like, those things are genius, right? Because they really showcase like the angles and like the depth of the color and the pattern, especially yours. incredible. So look out for that one as well. If you have any other decks that you think we should check out or keep our eyes on Kickstarter, or anything that just been released this year or is going to be released, go ahead and leave that in the comment section below as well. And yeah, I'm your boy John. This is Chris. This is Kyle. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys in the next review. Peace.